The unit we chose to do for our Learning Center is Grade 2, Understanding Structures and Mechanisms, specifically movement and simple machines. We decided to split it up by each person doing a different simple machine. My particular Learning Center is about the pulley. Our overall expectation is that we will focus on simple machines and mechanisms make life easier and more enjoyable for humans. And the specific expectation is number 1.1, assess the impact on society and the environment of simple machines that allow movement. The title of our Learning Center is Simple Machines at the Playground to present continuity between the 4 learning centers. So we'll begin by showing students a picture of a playground and have them guess as to where they think the pulley is and which piece of equipment. Next, our first small experiment is that students will try and pick up a textbook using only their bodies to feel how heavy the object is. Then students will try and pick up the same object using a pulley with the help of a friend. Students will compare their results by using a tally. How many students found it easier to pick up the heavy object with or without the pulley? This activity helps students realize that simple machines help make life easier for humans and is an introduction to how pulleys work. Materials used are a heavy object, string, rolling pin, and their partner. The next experiment is to have students determine how many pulleys you can use to lift a water bottle attached to a bucket. Will they need more or less weight with more or less pulleys? Students will experiment with different setups. For example, what happens when they try and lift the bottle with only one pulley? And then they'll try again. What happens when they try to lift the bottle attached to 2 pulleys, etc. After students have experimented with a few different setups, we'll ask them to write a sentence explaining how using more or less pulleys changes the force needed to lift something. And the materials for this is a box, a bucket, some weights, a water bottle, and some cans and string. As a short labeling activity, students will engage in drawing their own pulley with the flagpole experiment. This adds an art component to the lesson as they are required to choose their own country, create the corresponding flag, and determine a picture of a corresponding famous building to the place which they chose the flag. So they will draw their picture, their flagpole, and label the type of pulley that it is. Lastly, students will reflect on their learning by filling out a sheet on pulleys. This assists with summarizing, reviewing, and reflecting on the learning and key information that they should be understanding by the end of the Learning Center. It has information like what is a pulley, fill in the blank for the purpose, list some key terms, why is this helpful to humans as the fill in the blank, and list some real-world examples that we explored.